words about GRT. My father started in 1964. It's a little bit smaller than Vivek's actually, about some 300 square feet. Today, God's grace, we have about 13 stores across Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka. We have about 2,500 employees. There are quite a few reasons for GRT's success, and there is no doubt saying God's grace and all that. Definitely, I feel when you are at this level, there is only so much that a human being can do. Okay, you need a very good team, and I'm more proud to be a good team leader than a managing director, and we have been blessed with a good team. Our employees definitely are our assets. We need good people to support us, like marketing people like you, and various other agencies who also enable the business, the suppliers. And I don't think an individual or a company can come to such big levels of success without teamwork. I always tell my people, even if you are Sachin Tendulkar, you need 10 more people. I am very strong belief in that. Few words about GRT. I think we pride ourselves in saying that we are a 360-degree jeweler. In the sense that there are jewelers who only cater to the so-called upper strata. We don't use the word middle class in our shop. It's a very strict belief. I don't think there's a word called middle class, and we have grown because of them. The perception of middle class changes. You know, there used to be a salaried middle class, then a one-car middle class, then a two-car middle class. Now I think it's a two-flat middle class. So that's all. Today we have, I would not say professionalized, but we are in the process of professionalizing, and it's a very beautiful and new experience. Like Mr. Chandrasekhar was saying, I think that's the only way to grow. We also are in hotels. Right now we have a presence in Tamil Nadu. We haven't gone to Kerala in jewelry because, if you notice, a lot of Kerala jewelers are coming to Tamil Nadu, and like Sharath, right? There is magic in Tamil Nadu. I'm very strong on the South thing. Nothing to do with I'm being a Madrasi or I'm a Telugu by mother tongue. Nothing to do with that. It's just simple business, no sentiment. South Indians are more honest. With all due respect to North Indians here, I'm just telling the general perception. Again, I'm a businessman. If there is money in Calcutta, I'll go to Calcutta. There's no sentiment here. But by experience, people here are more honest. They don't cheat. And being a jeweler, we deal in large transactions, large amounts of money, and so we have to make decisions just seeing the face. And we have learnt a lot. And generally, people here, even if a check bounces, I've always seen they'll come next day morning and say, sorry, sir, my check has bounced, we'll get it. North Indian, we'll have to search for the next of our life. No, but I'm sure there are exceptions everywhere. No, even as a jeweler, if you see, South Indian jeweler is perceived as honest. North Indian jeweler, they will say chore. It's straight out. So even in our own community, we are more respected among our jewelers itself. And like whatever he said, I believe there is no easy way to the top. There is no easy way. My father always says, there is no number 2 to hard work. We work hard. The blessing is that we are passionate about our business. We work 10 hours, we work 12 hours. Okay, I'm sure a lot of you people are hard working too. But God has blessed us that we are in a business that we like. We are in a happy business and people come to us only for happiness, whether it be a wedding, engagement, a child is born. Anything that a person goes up in life, gold is a part of it, especially in India, more so in South India. For me, marketing is a passion. I like marketing because today I cannot reach my every customer by face. There was a time when we used to stand at the counter for 10 hours a day, like Mr. Chandrasekhar was saying. We used to know most of the customers by face. Today I need you to reach my customers. You cannot have success because I can only do so much at one store. And or we need you also. So that way you people play a very important part in our growth. But the challenges we face is, especially in South India, is if I need to advertise, I have to advertise in the Hindu, I have to advertise in the Deccan Chronicle, I have to advertise in the Times of India. Unlike North India, I was just discussing with one of your friends here, we don't have a English paper that is widely read in South India. So my expense goes up 3 times. But that is not there in North India. So something you should think about. North India, you can advertise in one paper and still reach so many people. Today we have presence in Tamil Nadu. We have in Tirupati, Hyderabad, Vizag, and this side Bangalore. also Hosur.
A very warm good afternoon to all of you. I noticed to what Mr. Srinivasa said and then what Mr. Anand spoke about, it's very significant to note that the payoff for this quality called trust is very, very high in South India. The time it actually takes to nurture a brand in South India is very, very high. But also once you have got a good brand, once you've got a great business, it's very difficult to unsettle that brand. The loyalty is very, very high for brands from South India. So that's another very important trait about brands from South India. Coming to the field of insurance, which I work in, I again come from a group called the Murugappa Group, which is about 100 years old. It's a well-diversified, large manufacturing group. So we also, as an insurance company, derive a lot of our payoff or familiarity from some of the other brands that this group has, whether it is BSA Cycle, whether it is Hercules Cycle, whether it is Parry Toffee, Parry Sugar. So those are some of the associations that actually work in our favor as a business. Unlike what Charat said that business of apparel or maybe business of jewelry, which actually requires a lot of concentration and is directly linked to the GDP of the state or a particular region. In the field of insurance, it's all about law of large numbers. So, and it's all about diversification of risks. So any insurance company, whether it is located in Bombay or Delhi or Chennai or Kolkata, they have to willy-nilly learn to underwrite risks in as many parts of the country as the law of the land allows them. Almost only about 30% of our business comes from southern states. The balance comes from Bombay and West, North and East. Incidentally, West contributes almost 32% to our overall turnover of about 1,400 crores for the last year. So it's all about large numbers, it's all about diversification of risk, handling as many type of customers and handling as many type of risks as possible. So that's what is important about our business. With these remarks, I thank you and I look forward to a very rich discussion during the panel. Thank you so much.
I remember in 1971, when I was about 6-7 years old, the entertainment we had was a vacuum tube radio. I don't know how many of you know a vacuum tube radio. So you put the radio on, it takes about 1.5 minutes for you to listen to the sound because the vacuum tubes have to heat up and that's why electron gets transferred. Now I'm using my phone, I'm able to video conference here. My daughter is in the US, she's going to college there and she's flying and in the flight there is Wi-Fi. So we can do video conferencing. So in the span of one lifetime, we're able to see a dramatic increase in what we're able to do. The reason I'm saying that is that there is, no matter what you do, you can kick and scream all you want, you're going to get only 24 hours in a day. And those 24 hours for many consumers today is so fragmented, is so distributed across multiple channels, multiple modes of consumption. And to complicate the matters more, the number of choices, I think you were mentioning that at the time when you wanted to buy a cycle or a scooter, you had to wait in line for 6 years. Now there are 30 brands, 40 brands, different makes of things. So your time is limited, one. The choices have increased, two. So you are inundated every day with literally millions of choices. So the thing that happens is what is at a premium today is not really, it's not money, but it is time. You really don't have time. And for a lot of businesses, I think many of the ones that we just heard from, I think the key is, how do I find a motivated buyer who has got an inclination to buy what I have to sell? And many of the media options that were a viable option some time ago ceased to be so, because the cost of reaching out to that motivated buyer becomes so expensive when you distribute your medium, the message to everybody. It just won't happen. I think the key is for us, the reason I'm explaining that is it's a changed marketplace. But to compensate for those problems, today you have multiple options, multiple avenues to connect and cultivate a following around what you have to sell. So that brings us to what Suleika does. It is that, as I explained to you, we have grown from about 2 employees, as we said, to today we are about 1,200 employees. We make as much money from the north as we make from the south, so we are a pan-India brand. Actually, we are a pan-global brand because we have a very strong presence in the US, and about 1/3 of our money comes from US, 2/3 comes from India. About 3 years ago, it was exactly the opposite. And in India, half the money comes from the north, half the money comes from the south. But if you look at it in terms of the money we get, the revenue we generate as a fraction of the opportunity that exists, we are weaker in the north than we are in the south. We are stronger in the south than the north. But that's not a problem for us because we think it will grow, because we began in the south. I think south continues to be a stronghold for us. So what we do is, today Suleika has got about 25 million visits a month, and we have served over 75,000 businesses across the cities. And we also served close to about 1,500 brands, both in the US and India, to connect with consumers. And what is different about Suleika is we connect them to motivated buyers. So what we do is that we have created marketplaces around needs, which includes lifestyle, property, education, home needs, office needs, cars and bikes and so on. And what we're doing here is we are cultivating vast communities of users and consumers who are very interested in those particular area, bringing businesses in also. One quick insight is that advertising is an annoyance if you don't want what the guy is selling. It's a pain. But advertising is truly a delight if you're looking for something and the guy is bringing to you what you want. There's nothing like it. And I think that is insight on which we are building these different marketplaces, where we are bringing businesses in, retailers of multiple varieties, and not only saying, for example, we know Viveks, right? Viveks is a strong brand. Indian Terrain is a very loved brand, and so is GRT. But we know them. We know Viveks has vast range at great prices. I don't need to be told that. There's no information in there for me. What is information for me? This week, what do you have for me? Do you have new phones coming up? Do you have new fridges coming up? Is there a particular fridge that's going on sale? Right? Same thing with, if you look at Indian Terrain also, I want to know, what do you have to sell? I know Indian Terrain very well. It's a beautiful store, right? But that ability to tell me, who is a motivated buyer of fashion, what you have this week is, to me, is true delight. And keeps going, and that is a cycle that keeps on going, week after week, month after month. And then if you cultivate a following around people who will want what you're selling, and to be able to communicate with them, I think that is the new phase of advertising to come.